Hi, it's just me. And as I was thinking about this video, I almost didn't do it. But I thought maybe I have to, if nothing else, to encourage, as I would always want to do. So let me first off by saying, 'cause I thought, oh my word, I've never actually said this. So my name is actually not pronounced Andrea, it's pronounced Andrea. So that's just FYI. It's not like we talk or you call me Andrea or Andrea. Anyways, I get called Andrea all the time. It doesn't matter to me. But my mom cares. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is how things are getting real. And I hear a lot of the truthers, not a lot, I should say half and half. Some of the truthers have come across difficulties, real life difficulties with all this craziness, this twilight zone of a world. I really feel that. I really felt it this weekend, and this week. So I'll just tell you my testimonial of what happened. So I work at a small Christian daycare, and I work with 3-year-olds. So, going in, we all knew what we had to do, But yet we didn't sign anything about getting tested ever. Because that's not supposed to be something that's coerced, right? Especially among Christians. So in the beginning, when we opened, because this is new as of this year, we were a school, a small preschool, and now we're a daycare. So anyway, going into this year, I knew I could probably get around these things. My boss understands my position on shots and things, so I didn't worry about that. But it came to be this week that one of my coworkers who was in my room had a cold, and she tested positive. And so what happened this weekend was I found out about that. We were talked to, and my boss texted me yesterday saying, can you go get a rapid test, or so we can keep your classroom open, or I'll have to close it. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. She wanted to talk on the phone, and I couldn't. Let me go back a little bit. So I actually felt like I was getting a cold on Thursday night, and so Friday morning I texted the lady that's above me, and I said, I have congestion, just FYI, because the other girl had to stay home because of her symptoms. And so she said, no, come in, and if you get worse, just let me know. Well, okay, this is the stupid thing about stuff. One, it's a cold. Yeah, I felt crappy. Okay, it's hard enough to sometimes take care of these kids, and then when you feel crappy, it's harder. But anyways, I've never heard of someone having one symptom from a cold, and it usually, my tag's sticking out, usually, you have multiple symptoms right off the bat, and I didn't tell her that, but I was like, if I feel congested, my head's going to start hurting, or I'm going to start sneezing, or all this stuff, So as the day went on, yeah, my congestion caused a headache, and, I was feeling a little chilly here and there throughout the day, but I didn't tell her because I thought, my work day was almost over, so whatever. So I went home. Okay, so my coworker was sick Tuesday. She didn't come back Wednesday. I started feeling sick Thursday. Whatever. Now, I will say this. This is very interesting to me. I have been questioning the germ theory quite a bit, and from things I've seen or heard. So I've just been praying and put it on the back burner. It still kind of confuses me. because it does seem like a couple years ago, my daughter literally coughed in my face when she had influenza A. She actually got the test, and it was influenza A, and she coughed on me, and the next day, boom, I was down. So who knows? But I will tell you, with this specific cold that I had or have, I actually drank 2 pops. And I'm not a pop drinker except like at parties. And since I have a lot of dietary issues, I sometimes will drink a pop for like my dessert. So it was kind of just, the week after break and everything. So I was like, I'm going to treat myself to a pop. And because I can't eat a lot of candy now and all that stuff. But so I had one on Monday. And then I had another pop on Thursday, I think. And on Thursday, I looked at that can, and there's a lot of sugar in pop. So I was like, ooh, this is not good. And what do you know? I felt sick on Thursday night into Friday. And for all of you other crunchy people out there, you know that, you take your vitamins. I take vitamin C in my daily and my D3 every day. I've doubled my D3 and tripled it that day. And I got some elderberry syrup, and I'll be making my own elderberry syrup once I get my package, all that stuff. So, Friday I was feeling the worst. Yesterday, I was told to quarantine. I didn't quarantine because my boss kept telling me where to go. Did you hear me? So I was feeling better yesterday, just a little rundown. And today I'm feeling better. Anyways, it was like a 1-day cold. I've heard about the germ theory being, all of that to say, the germ theory is a detox. Literally, your body needs to detox naturally. And I just wonder if I just drank too much sugar and my body was like, whoa, this is not what we do. Shut down a little bit, reboot. Maybe that's just what my body was doing, So, anyway, sorry, I'm wobbling my phone around a little bit. So, okay, that's the whole backstory. If I'm boring you, just leave now. But I got a text from my boss about all this crap about, well, get tested, your other coworkers getting tested, and I said, well, where can I get a saliva test? I said to my husband, I will spit in a cup. I will not stick anything up my nose or have them stick anything up my nose, up my brain, or wherever they stick it. They can stick it wherever they want to. On them, not me. So my boss really basically put me in a corner. She said no pressure, but then she started to pressure me. And this was all over text. I didn't want to talk to her. I was literally in tears. She was making me, she was assuming I was being wimpy. She's like, well, it doesn't really hurt, and it's not that bad. And, okay, really? Because I said I don't trust the test. That's what I told her initially. I said I don't trust the swab. And so then I should back up, I'm sorry. It's still emotional. It was so crazy. This was a matter of like half an hour of talking. So, she told me I had to get tested, get a rapid test, and I can come back on Tuesday. Or I'd have to close my room. Well, let me back up again. She told me I would be covered if I took the week off and took PTO, okay? Alright, so I said fine. And I said, there's my lessons are all done. And she gave me a thumbs up on text. But the next day, she put the pressure on and said, I have to close your room. I can't cover your spot and all these other people's spots who have to quarantine or have to wait for a test. So anyways, that's when I said, I can spit in a cup. I'll get a saliva test. And she said, no, that's not accurate. You have to get the nose swab. And I was like, then I just prayed, and God put my other coworker who sees some truth for what it really is, and I texted her, and she helped me clarify my thoughts, and keep encouraging me to do the right thing. And, but really, my boss almost made it like I didn't have a choice. And I knew this was coming. I knew, and that's what she said in the text, really. It's not what we'd rather. We really don't. She basically said we don't have a choice. And I just reject that. And actually, this whole cold, I've rejected. I prayed that I would not feel too sick, and I pushed through, and I said, I'm just going to live life, the weekend normally, and I'm not going to let this get me down. And God's been faithful, and I feel better. I literally I'm still a little under the weather, not really, but it's fine. I'm really fine. And I told my boss initially, I'll be fine by Tuesday. They're going to close my room anyways tomorrow, but I said, I'll be fine. And she said, the policy states you have to get tested or you have to quarantine for 14 days or 10 days or whatever. Now, the other thing that scares me, so the first thing that was on my radar is, wow, she's really trying to manipulate me to take this test. This is how they're going to do it. They're actually, and then I thought today, the testing that they're doing is a test. And I told my coworker, it's the test today, and it's the shot tomorrow. That's how they're going to do this. They're going to test people who get tested. Get it? They're testing the waters to see who's going to say yes and who's going to say no. Thankfully, I have PTO. I can stay home with my daughter and do her schooling with her. Yay. That's a blessing to me. Do I feel badly I won't see my kids or my kids are going to have to quarantine too? Yes. Now, like I said, the other thing that's a little worrisome is that now my kids, the parents who choose not to test them, have to quarantine. So one, you have an authority telling you you cannot go or can go places outside of work. And now you have authority telling you, again, where you can go, meaning school or daycare, if you don't get tested. Symptoms or not. Previously, I haven't heard about children getting tested on a whole. I've heard about certain kids, different families doing different things, but I haven't heard this being put on parents as this is what you must do or you have to stay home. Money aside, because, obviously they wouldn't pay for if they're not there, but this is the test. Okay, first of all, it's we as adults, who's going to follow these requirements? They're not recommendations anymore. They're stated as requirements. And now they're requiring the same thing for children. And I know they said, well, the kids weren't in school when this first started happening, and now we're just seeing what's going on. Anyways, I stood my ground, thankfully. The Holy Spirit helped me. And I just was honest. My coworker was really great at saying, just tell her exactly how you feel and be honest. And she was right. And I said to my boss over text, I do not feel comfortable with this test. She did ask me why I don't want to take it. And I said, everything I've prayed about with this situation and about these things, I would be going against everything that I believe and what I've prayed over this past year. And so that stopped her from asking me or pressuring me. Because, as sad as it is, and I pray that she will see the light, as sad as it is, Christians now with other Christians have to use that religious exemption part. And I knew it was coming to. I guess I knew it was coming with other means of medical intervention, but not like this, like testings and so. Like I said, I think it's a test with the tests. Who's complying and who's not, and she knows now. So I think if this happens again, this is the second time they've done this to my classroom. She knows now she's not going to question, and whatever happens, happens. And I told her that Yahweh's on the throne, and if she thinks I'm selfish or she thinks I'm silly, oh well. I probably made her mad. I gave her more work to do, but that's fine. So there's my encouragement. You can do it. Stand up for what you have to stand up for, because it's starting. All right, blessings.